I tell you what, let's bring in Stacy Herbert, who's been following all these things, developments in the financial markets, and let's get her take on this week's newest revelations in the ongoing soap opera, which can be titled "As the World's Stomach Turns." It's absolutely despicable. Stacy, are you there? Can you hear me?
Hi, Max. Yes, it looks like the U.S. economy has been hijacked by some bank robbers, as Dow Jones Market Watch I saw was calling them, likening Hank Paulson and the Goldman Sachs gang as the Dillinger Gang, the famous bank robbing gang of the first Great Depression.
That's right. Paul Farrell over at Market Watch, which is part of the Dow Jones and Wall Street Journal media empire, he talks about bank robbers and robber banks. So the mainstream media is now pointing the finger at Goldman and saying these are robber banks, and they celebrate their own thievery and larceny, and they want American to give them a big round of applause. Thank you for stealing all of our wealth.
Yes, I think he called Hank Paulson something like Pretty Face Paulson or something.
Pretty boy Hank.
But, it's not only the U.S. which is, using these extreme fiscal and monetary measures. They're also being used now in China and in other parts of the world. But the stories coming out of China this week, the headlines there, are that we're seeing the Chinese government set the banks a combined new loan target of 5 trillion yuan, which is $730 billion US dollars, the whole of 2009. By the end of April, they had already issued 6 trillion yuan worth of new loans into the Chinese economy. Now, this is supposed to be increasing liquidity, but apparently quite a large portion of it is actually going to Macau, the gambling center just off of Guangdong province in southern China.
Well, this is what we've been saying for years, actually, is that the intention of the central banking system is to turn the world into a casino gulag, where people are not free to migrate, they're not free to get living wages, they're not free to get any return on their savings, but they're free to play slot machines and to gamble, and for this the governments will give them a perpetual flow of worthless chips to go out there and speculate all day long. The losers go into the deeper levels of the gulag, and the winners periodically get to go on some TV show, celebrity TV show, and get worshipped for 5 or 10 minutes before they go back into the gulag.
But, but you're also seeing kind of like a gambling class and a worker class. The money and all these stimulus programs clearly are not getting to the actual workers and the people who need to build capital and build industry and build, a future for us. It's going to this class, whether it's the Dillinger or, Paulson gang in America, who are just using the money to speculate more. And the same thing seems to be happening in China, where it's a class of people that just speculate.
Well, you make a good point. In other words, to have capitalism, you need to form capital. And to form capital, you need to encourage savings, and you need to encourage some kind of productive work that's actually increasing the capacity and capitalization of a country. But all of those aspects of these countries are being picked apart, wiped clean, dismantled, destroyed. Now, what's happening also with the Nikkei in Japan? It's soaring lately. I guess there's a connection there with China?
Yeah, well, everybody's buying into that, the green shoots recovery and being led by China and all the growth. But, in fact, as I said, it's speculation. But in Japan, the actual policymakers apparently don't believe in the Nikkei boom, and they're considering abolishing cash.
I'm sorry? Could you repeat that?
Well, apparently they argue that without physical cash, this is how the theory goes, a central bank can then set rates exactly where it likes. At the moment in Japan, the rates are 0, and they would like them to be -4%.
Well, that's what I just said. They want to go from a fractional reserve system to a zero reserve system or even a negative reserve system so that there is no cash basis for any of the economic activity going forward. It's merely price levels which are set command and control style from a centralized authority who will then, like a casino, change the value of prices based on some kind of behavioral economics model that they borrow from casino technology. Who knows at what point people are more inclined to gamble or not to gamble. This is technology from the casino industry. When you go into the slot machine field, they tweak the percentage of winnings than the slot machines based on behavioral economics. So this is now being applied to the global economy, so that if Japan goes to negative 4% interest rates, it's to get people to go down there to the slot machine of their daily life in Japan, economically interacting, and to speculate. So they don't want productive capacity at all.
Well, Max, I only have a few seconds left, but I wanted to say that, part of this having negative interest rates available and abolishing cash is that it's abolishing your ability to protect yourself, that you're thrust into this gambling frenzy. You have to, because they're cutting off all other avenues of escape from, I guess, saving or, building your own future or pension funds or anything.
Yes, well, that's exactly what I've been saying. It's a casino gulag state based on behavioral economics, like in the casino industry, where they allow slot machines to have a greater winning percentage based on the psychology of the crowd at the one-armed bandits, as they're called, and they can shift that depending on psychological factors to get people to gamble more. It has nothing to do with economics, supply and demand. It's pure behavioral economics, and it's pure gambleaholism turned into a national policy. Well,